Well, an Army veteran with PTSD wants to move back to Indiana, but he's finding that his pit bull might not be welcome.
News 18's Holly Campbell has the story.
Army veteran Wayne Tibbet is stationed at Fort Drum in New York, but hopes to move his family back to Benton County this summer. But the process hasn't been an easy one.
We currently have a 2-year-old American Pit Bull Terrier named Zorro, who will be a registered emotional services animal by the time we come home. And we're just running into a lot of the town ordinances being against what is known as aggressive breeds.
Tibbet got Zorro from a shelter last year to help with his PTSD stemming from his 2009 deployment.
He's the best dog for our situation, and we wanted him to help with me coping with PTSD and anxiety, and he's done more than that since we've had him.
An emotional services animal doesn't have to undergo training like a registered service animal, and it is not recognized by the Americans with Disabilities Act. Zorro isn't a registered emotional services dog yet, but Tibbet says he is working with his doctor to get the paperwork he needs to register him. In his attempt to move back to Indiana, Tibbet found out the towns of Fowler and Oxford have ordinances against pit bulls. He says he reached out to the town of Fowler about changing the town's ordinance.
And they had me write a memo to go before the board, but at the end of the board they said they didn't feel there was a need to change whatever their ordinance.
Oxford's ordinance prohibits pit bulls and pit bull mixes in town limits. Violating the ordinance could result in a $100 fine per day. But Oxford Town Council President Tina Kaufman says the council is willing to hear the family's case once they have the proper paperwork.
Well, I have an upcoming appointment with my doctor, and that's when I'm going to go over the situation with him, work on getting my note so I can send it to my mother-in-law so she can go ahead and go before the board, on my behalf and, present our case, and hopefully everything will be settled so we can move home.
Holly Campbell, News 18.